What's up guys, Jim the Game Guru today with Hardback, the digital app version. This is a really cool Scrabble deck builder. It plays very close to Scrabble. Obviously Scrabble has the main board, you put the tiles on there. This is more in the deck builder format, but you do spell out words in this game. There is a physical version available to this game too. I do own the physical. It's a great game to play with the family. And I actually ended up getting it for my sister too, because she's huge into word games, and she absolutely loves it. And this is very simple as far as learning mechanics. The hardest thing about learning mechanics in this game is the deck builder aspect. So if somebody's not used to deck building, learning the deck builder aspect is probably the biggest hurdle, but it's not hard at all. My family learned deck building pretty quick when I started playing Hardback with them. I'm going to go ahead and dig into a new game. I'm not going to play the entire game. It's going to be too long to play the entire game, but after a few hands, you'll kind of figure out exactly how it's played. So this deck builder is using a theme of books. So that's why they call it hardback. So the theme is based off of different kind of categories, factions. So each faction is a different type of book. So like a horror book, adventure book, a mystery. Kind of up in the top of the board here is your market. Just like most deck builders have a card market where you can buy cards. Right now with RGOLZKY. And the ones in red are the ones that are romance novels, and the ones that are yellow are adventure, I believe. And this is my starting hand. I have 5 cards down in my starting hand, and the goal is to spell out words. It's to drag these letters up and spell out a word. And when I spell out the word, I will get the bonus based off of what's on the card. So some cards will give you victory points, some cards will give you cents, and when you get the cents, you're able to use those cents to buy the market cards at the top. On the left hand side, you'll see kind of like a black and gray square with zeros in them. Those are inks and ink removers. So this game, the factions, there are 0 card drawing on any of the factions. And the only way to actually draw more cards in your hand is to actually use an ink. Every ink you use, you will draw a card. Now, the downside is, this is kind of like the push your luck aspect of this game, is if you... So I'm going to spell a word here. If you draw a card, and I think... Yeah, there we go. If you draw a card and from using an ink and you can't spell a word, then you could forfeit your turn. That's where ink removers come into play. So let's say if you use ink to draw a card, but then that letter that you drew really sucks, then you can use an ink remover to remove that inked letter, so that it doesn't force you to have to use it. Because anytime you use an ink, anytime whatsoever you use an ink to draw a card, you are forced to use that letter in that word. So, which is typically not bad if you draw like 1 or 2, but if you're really pushing your luck and you want to draw, I don't know, like 4 or 5, because you're trying to create a massive word, and sometimes you get screwed because there's the letter combinations of the ones you drew. You're like, oh my god, I can't do anything with these. But the ink removers help you in that they will actually make some of the letters not mandatory. Alright, so I spelled lint. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spend my cents on a card at the very top. I'm gonna buy an O. Let's see here. We'll buy the O. And then now the computer goes. They bought a K. I'm gonna go to the next one here. I obviously, being on the video, I can't take my time to really concentrate on making a bigger word. I'm not gonna sit here and try to figure out a huge word because it could take a little while. So I just want to kind of keep this video moving kind of quick. So these green ones up here are horror. I'm going to go ahead and buy I have 3 ink. I'm going to go ahead and buy an S. And I have 1 cent left over. So the way you get inks are you spend, they're 1 cent an ink. So I just bought an ink. Computer goes, he bought a Y. So, ooh, see? So now I have these letters, which is it's very hard to make it work. Now the nice thing about this game is that you see there's like little flip things underneath the letter. So with flip, you can actually turn any card that's not mandatory into a wild card by just flipping it over. When you flip it over, you lose the ability of that card. And so I'm probably gonna have to flip it over unless I use an ink here. Let's go ahead and I'll use an ink, and I got a no. Cool. Yeah, so what we're gonna do, so I flipped through, as you can see the C became an E on there. That gave me 3 cents. I am going to buy an A. Now the more you deck thin in your game, the higher the chances you're gonna get like powerful cards in your hand. Because right now I have a lot of the basic cards that are still coming up. So I'm gonna spell salt. That little strip on the very top, as you can see, that is the victory point board. And as you keep getting victory points, you kind of move, your icon moves over to the right, and then at the very end, when somebody gets 60, that's when they win. The first person to 60. Then what am I gonna buy this time? I have a Z that gives me a whole crap ton of stuff, but obviously it's a little harder to make a word with a Z. Okay, so he bought 2 cards. I'm getting starter cards because I have no way of deck thinning right now. Romance is usually the one faction in this game that will have a lot of card trashing ability, which is your deck thinning, and that way you can get some of these garbage cards out. Typically, if you buy, like, let's say if you buy the same letter, so if I had an E, like, so this E right here, if there was another E on the market, I would buy that E for that faction and then find a way to trash this basic E. That way that the basic E never comes up again, right? Because it's kind of like a 1-for-1 exchange. And then I'll go ahead and buy the K, and that's in my deck now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and spend the 1 cent to buy an ink. And then he bought one. He's got a whole lot of. So I'm gonna do ST. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna spend the 1 ink here. Ooh. See, and this, you can see the ink, the N is inked. It's marked as inked, which means I cannot remove it. So I have to use that letter. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe just do strain. There we go. Now with the A here, as you can see, it has an option. I can either go 2 cents or 2 victory points. So let me do 1. So I already have 1, 2, 3, 4 cents. So I can go either get 6 cents to buy a bigger letter, or I can do 2 victory. I'm probably going to do the cents, just so I can get a huge letter. Finish scoring. This is going to give me 6 cents. And now I can get myself a C or a W. Alright, let's go with the C. There we go. I'm going to buy myself another ink. And then it's the next person's turn. No one has gotten victory points yet, but in this game what happens is, as the more cards you buy, I mean, the better cards you get in your hand, like this. See, now I have 3 of my 5 cards are now the non-starter cards. And then this is where like the money starts piling in, right? This is where it starts getting starts really piling up, which I like. So I can do a victory point if I want. Well, let me see. How many cents do I have with this? It's 5 cents so far. I'm trying to get better cards, so I'm going to finish scoring. And let's buy a let's buy another S. And then I have 2 ink left over. I could buy this P too. So now there you go. I just bought 2 cards. So he did angry. He got 5 victory points. Now you can see he has moved on the track. So we both moved up on the track. I think I have 1 victory point and he has 5. So he's got a little bit of a lead on me. But yeah, this is Hardback, and this is how you play it. It's simple. It's fun. Later on, when you build up combos and stuff, it gets pretty cool. I don't know how many victory points you can get on a single hand, and when you spell that one word, it's awesome. The cool thing is too, when you're playing with the physical version, and this is like one of those few games that I like physical way better than digital. Well, actually, I like most of my games better physical than digital. But some games, they do an amazing job on digital. Like Ascension, the Ascension game is amazing on digital format. And but this one, I actually prefer it on physical because it's a better experience. It's a better experience playing with other people. And when you're playing with other people, you can actually give them ink when you use ink and you can't spell a word if somebody helps you out. So you're not stuck during the game sitting there going, oh, I can't spell anything, I don't know what to spell, and then you end up doing something really small. If there's somebody there that knows a bigger word in your group, they get a reward for helping you spell the big word if you use your ink to draw, which is really cool. I like that aspect of the game. But it's fun. If you have somebody in your family that likes word games, that likes kind of Scrabble, or if you're a word game fanatic or something, then your odds are you'll probably like this game. The physical version of this game is it's a little steep in price. I'm not gonna lie. It's about $40, but it's worth it. I mean, it's made well. A lot of the pieces are wooden, for like the inks. And their ink removers. The cards are really, really well made. They're a nice kind of sturdy, like almost glossy type of cards, and they're very high quality. And it's definitely worth picking up though. But that's it. It's Hardback. This is the digital version. I am playing this on Android. They probably have one in the App Store for iPhone as well. I wouldn't doubt it typically a lot of the games, especially the card games and digital games, will be on both platforms. But yeah, it's a great game, and thanks for watching, guys.